Hello and welcome back. Right, this is another quick project. I'm going to make a back scratcher, and for this I've got a piece of wood about 25mm square and about 30cm long, or roughly an inch square, and I think 10 inches long. So that's probably nearer 12. So I'm just going to mount this on centre. Right, this is a lathe and bandsaw project, although the last piece you could do with hand saws and hand sanding, but I'll use power tools because I've got them. So basically we're going to shape this into a back scratcher. So this section is going to be a handle. I'll grab a pencil. This top section of about, well, I'm going to go a bit longer than I did on the last one. So it's about there. It's going to remain square, and you'll see why for the end process, but this is so we can do some band sawing on it later. I said you could do it with a hand saw, but I've got a band saw, so I'm going to use it. Right, so I'm just going to turn this round, style it whatever way I want. Length of the handle you use is completely up to you. Let's plough on. Okay, we're roughed into round, so it's now a matter of just designing the handle of the back scratcher the way you want to. I'm going to gently go from round into square over to this section, which will create hopefully quite a nice pattern. In terms of design, I think you need a nice light handle here. It's not something you grip in both hands, a back scratcher. It's something really should be between a couple of fingers. So I'm just going to style in what feels good, probably work with the wood as we go, and see if we can make it look good. As you can see, most of that is just me designing on the fly. I've got a shape I quite like. I'm just going to round a few inches over to where I want it to be in terms of length. And I think we'll just put a bit of decoration on it using a point tool. Pretty it up a bit, sand it down, and get it ready for the next stage. Okay, quite a lot done with the point tool there. It's left the detail a little ragged, but we'll see what it looks like when it sands up. And then it'll be time to move on. Give it a bit of a finish with some shellac sanding sealer and some friction polish, and then we'll move on to making the head. Now, I forgot to mention earlier, this is ash. What my little projects tend to be out of, because I've had a load of it through and now I'm just working through some of the smaller pieces. It's got a lovely grain and obviously very strong for this kind of work. Okay, so overnight I did a little bit of work on it, and I've decided to burn bands in that I cut with the point tool. I just think it makes it look a bit more interesting, makes those really stand out. So now we come round to working the top. As I said, this is going to be done on the bandsaw and the sander here. Okay, so hopefully this stands out on the camera, but basically what I've done is shape. Now this is going to be the head shape I want, like a set of fingers reaching out, and what I'm going to do to make those fingers is first, before I cut this shape away with the bandsaw, I'm going to cut the fingers into it. So I've marked roughly what I'm looking for. I think 4 fingers looks about right. So I'm going to try and cut a centre line using the fence to help guide it, and then I'll offset that for the 2 side marks and cut that once from one side and once from the other, but you see what I mean when I go along. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try and do is find the middle finger, as it were. Whoops. Okay, that looks roughly right, and I'm just going to find if I've got this centre by just nipping the end. Right, we've got the basic fingers cut now. I've cut them all to the same length, the gaps in between. Now it's a matter of forming the shape that I want to, a bit like a hand, by cutting away these sections. Now really I need a narrower blade on here, but I'm not going to change it over just for this one little simple project. So we're just going to have to eat away, get it close, and then we'll do the rest with sanding. Okay, so there's the preliminary cut. You can get the general idea of what the shape's going to be. I want to reduce some of the bulk here though. I don't want to be this bulky on the top. It's supposed to be quite a fine piece, and the fingers are actually quite strong, so I'm going to cup away a bit more underneath, and then I think it'll be time to move to the sander. Okay, I think we're ready to sand that up. So from this point on it's just a bit of hand sanding now, so I'm going to get down to that, just gently get it shaped the way I want it, take it down through the grits, and I'll finish it and I'll come back on camera and show you what it looks like. So there we have the finished piece. Pleased with the way it came out, quite like the shape. Obviously the interpretation is down to you, what you want to do with it, but yeah, very functional. I like the way the hand sanding softened the top of it very nicely. Nice project, very quick, very easy, make somebody a nice Christmas present. If you know anybody who lives on your own, they'll love you for making one of these. See you in the next video.